And that's, he's got a great point. I totally agree with JV. He's a smart man.
But you wouldn't put it like that.
But no, he's right. One thing we have to be concerned about more than standings, we watch it. I'm a fan of the NBA as a coach, and watch what's going on. But more important for our team is how we're playing, and making sure we're consistent on both ends of the floor, and getting everybody integrated in what I want to do starting next week too is getting closer to our playoff rotation and making sure we understand our roles going into the playoffs and that type of thing. So, the fortunate and unfortunate thing about this year, we don't have to worry a lot about rest. Our guy that usually rests is getting his unfortunate rest right now. So our whole thing is getting into a rhythm. Practices are few and far between. Going into the playoffs. So, and what I don't want to do is wait till those last 3 days before the playoffs or 2 days or whatever it is and say, okay, now we're getting ready for playoffs. No, they start right now.
The Pacers it would appear not being in the dressing room chemistry is kind of an issue there. Certainly Paul George has made his comments the last few weeks, but this team chemistry seems to have been a strength, and even adding two guys into your rotation that can ruffle some feathers.
Right.
Why is that not
Well,
an issue?
one, we've added two guys that are chemistry guys. Serge Ibaka has been on winning teams. He's been on the championship playoff in the finals as a player. PJ is hungry. He's humble. This is his first playoff approach, but he's been 11 years in the league, I think it is. So he's been in the league for a while. So you've added two leaders to your team along with the guys that we have who are part of our culture, part of our system, understand our team chemistry, understand our team dynamics, how certain guys play. And the most important thing about that, they know their roles and they accept their roles, embrace it. They don't say, okay, that's my role. They accept it. They understand who DeMar DeRozan is. They understand who Kyle Lowry is. And I think that's just as important as, okay, just giving a guy his role and say, hey, here's your role. But they accept it and embrace it and they run with it. And that means a lot to our team, and hopefully that helps us in the long run. It has helped us, our culture and our program, as much as anything.
Are you encouraged by the progress that Kyle Lowry's making?
Well, yeah, he's working his butt off. There's no timetable right now as far as when he's coming back, but I'm really pleased about the reports I'm getting. Kyle's working day and night a lot of times when I'm not around, and which is good. And so we'll see where he is. Hopefully we can get him in for a couple of games before the playoffs start.
You're surprised the team has really played pretty well without him?
Yes and no. I'm really pleased with the way guys in the past we've normally have played well when someone has unfortunately went out, and the next guy up mentality has kicked in for us over the years. Jonas has gone down, Pat has gone down, DeMar has gone down. I think DeMar missed 13 games last year or 14, something crazy like that. So, hopefully our culture and program and system has helped with that next guy up. Again, I'd much rather have Kyle out there, don't get me wrong, but Corey's doing a heck of a job. DeLon and Fred VanVleet have come in and grown and learned as young guys on our team, trying to win at the same time. So the guys on the bench have really stepped up and collectively taken up some of that slack.
When you said off the top you're more concerned about your team playing well right now, what do you want to work on still these last couple of weeks?
Well, offensive rhythm, Eric. I think that's as important as anything. Right now, we're still having to, talk to Serge and tell him things to do where guys here who've been here 3 or 4 years, you call out a play, they got it automatically. And you can go out of the box and get an old play from the past, and they got it automatically. Where, now we have to maybe burn a timeout, or like the other night, I think Corey was explaining to Serge what to do, and guess what? The other team is standing there too. They're not deaf, so they're standing there listening. So all those situations that you can kind of ease into and those type of things, we still want to get where we can do the nuances of the NBA without having to call a timeout. And that's going to be huge in the playoffs, to make adjustments on the fly, on the go, possession, maybe the very next possession. And those are the things these games have helped, and we're not there yet. The other night, some of our defensive schemes broke down just by communication, lack thereof, and understanding. So all those things have to be crisp and on target once the playoff starts.
Do you guys have a target for how many threes you take or try and make in a game? Like your record, I think when you make 9, you're basically a 700 club.
Right. Well, we have our goals. We have goals on paint shots, non-paint shots, corner threes. We have a whole chart of our goals where we are on those. And again, we haven't been. I think the last couple of games we've gotten better in getting our attempts up, not turning down quality three-point shots from our three-point shooters. Make or miss, we have to take those for the rhythm of our offense and for the way we want to play and we need to play. And so we have that set, Michael, of what we want to do.
You mentioned rest off the top and how Kyle's obviously getting his rest now. Is there anybody who could use a day down the stretch, or do you feel comfortable with?
Well, if anybody, DeMar, but again, I don't want to do that at the expense of our rhythm, working on what we need to work on, maybe cutting minutes back some during the game, a specific game. But I don't want to get into, just saying, hey, this guy needs that and that guy needs that. If a player comes and says, hey, look, but again, we need the rhythm as much as anything else, more so than I think rest is concerned. Because, again, it's not like we're practicing hard every other day because of the new collective bargaining mandatory days off. So those are days we're getting rest. And so hopefully those are sufficing to having guys.
I don't know if you can answer this. How many of those days do you still have to use?
We still have about 3 or 4 left. Why? Who's asking?
Me.
Why?
I'm just curious, how many practice days you can possibly have down the stretch.
Okay. All right.
Well, I mean, between now and Cleveland, the 12th, how many days do you think you could conceivably practice?
Well, I've got that number, Michael. I'm going to keep that to myself in case Cleveland's listening.
What do you think of the Final Four coming up this weekend?
I think it's great. I think, Phoenix, I was watching Phoenix and Clippers play last night, and all the college coaches were there. Calipari was there, and it's a great gathering for coaches. I'm excited for Gonzaga. Mark Few's a friend of mine. I know him. And pulling for him. Dana Altman's a friend of mine, recruited Mitch Richmond back when he was at Three Rivers Junior College back in the day. And so know all those guys. Matter of fact, I went out and visited with when Jonas was working out at the University of Oregon a couple of summers ago, spent a couple of days out there with Dana, and saw the program. All 4 programs are quality. North Carolina, there's a little school over in the ACC. So, really good schools that are going. South Carolina, first time in. I think it's great for them, for Frank Martin getting over there and getting in. So it's an exciting time for those schools, and probably old hat right now for North Carolina.